Alright guys, back with another Team Buka episode, and the start of this episode, of course we're working on the Gsxr 1000 still, continuing it on. Got my crazy hair going on, was just working outside, but before we do anything I have to work on the motorcycle lift, the motorcycle jack. The hydraulics in it are not working, so I went to AutoZone, picked up some stop leak, jack fluid, and so I'm going to disassemble that, put some of that fluid in there and try to get this thing to work. Once I do that, all the stuff that I have assembled on the table, all restored and ready to get put onto the bike. If I can turn this around, which I can't. Everything there. We're going to be putting onto the bike and replacing all the old and worn out stuff that is on there. So that's what we're doing in this episode. Without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so stop leak did not work. I don't know what's going on with the thing. I'll break it down again, maybe drain all the fluid out of it, put fluid all the way new back in there and see if that works, but for now we're going to be able to work around it. I'm going to just slide the tubes all the way up so I can get the front tire off, and then I'll individually slide the tubes off one by one. I'll have enough clearance to do that with where the jack's at now. But that's what we're going to start working on. We're going to get this front end assembled and checking with you guys on the time lapse assembling the front end. Alright, what's going on, gang? So, time-lapse died in the middle of getting the whole front end together, so I'm not exactly sure how much it had captured. Been a couple hours since then. I showered and took a little nap and stuff, but we're gonna jump right back into it. So this is where we're at. We got the refurbished tubes on, we got the refurbished bars, we got everything cleaned, refurbished, reused, back on the bike. Almost everything's tightened down, not all the way because I'm going to have to be undoing some stuff and adjusting some things, but next we're going to be working on the wiring harness. Not sure how I'm going to record that. It's going to be very boring stuff, but probably just mount the camera at the front of the bike aiming down, and we're going to start routing this harness back through the chassis. Once we do that, finish putting the covers on the side of the motor with their gaskets torqued down to spec. Buy some cheap oil, fill it up with some oil, cycle it through, drain that out, and then put some better oil in there, and we'll be on our test to get things started up for the first time. So without further ado, let's start working on this harness. I'll find a decent view for you guys and time-lapse that. And I'll check in with you guys when we get to the next step. Alright, so as you can see in that time lapse, got a good amount of the harness laid through. I had most of it labeled from when I disassembled it. Only a couple of things I didn't have labeled, which I had no idea where they went, but I know now. So I'm going to actually throw a battery into here and turn it just to see if we can get some lights up on the dash and stuff going. But other than that, we got the harness routed. We've got, I would say, 90% of things connected. So this goes to the fuel tank. I'm not 100% sure where this goes yet. This goes to the air box. This goes to the air box here. This goes to the battery, obviously. It's the ground, and then I got the positive right here. Just put a fuse into the stator, not the stator, but the starter relay. So I'm gonna plug that back in. Got the wires all ran for that, but yeah, everything is connected that needs to be connected. This goes to the fan on the radiator, so this actually runs down that way like that. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna get the battery out of the Z, which I need to uncover from its covers, pop that seat off, rip that battery out, throw it in here, and see what we can power. Maybe even hit the starter and see if it'll crank. But that's where we're at. Check back in with you guys in just a minute. Alright, so the battery for the Z, too small. Should have figured. I don't really want to take apart good old Bessie girl here to just to take the battery and put it in this thing and then swap it back and forth. It is 4 in the morning, so I'll just wait till AutoZone opens up, grab a battery for this thing, and in the meantime we're going to take a look at the airbox, get it all cleaned up, shined up, you know, make sure it's not dirty, clean up the throttle bodies, get the airbox mounted, plugged up. So then the only thing after that would be figuring out the gas tank, which the gas tank is clean. I looked in it yesterday. It just had gas sitting in it, so the gas in it is bad, but the gas sitting in it kept it from rusting. So I need to get that gas out, get the gas tank mounted, and once we do that, we can try to get this thing fired up. I really wanted to crank it over tonight, but I need to get oil anyways, so get some cheap oil, throw a filter on there, flush the system out real good, and then yeah, that's the direction that we're heading right now. So that's gonna be it for this episode. I'm gonna go ahead and start editing this together. I got a lot to edit, and in the next episode we'll be mounting the gas tank, hopefully cranking it and firing it. Once we get this thing fired up, we know that we got a good motor, and the project can kind of move forward from there. Wintertime's right around the corner, so I will be stripping it right back down to the frame again, doing a little bit more of a deep dive into the motor, and then getting the frame looking exactly how I want it to look. So like I said, for now, that's a wrap. Stay tuned, and don't forget to like, subscribe. Peace.